This March, Mars turns retrograde. So from the 1st of March 2014, Mars is retrograding in Libra. Libra is one of the cardinal signs, the others being Aries, Cancer and Capricorn. And Mars is going to be retrograde until May. A little bit about Mars. Well, Mars is the warrior principle in the zodiac who independently pushes through against all the odds with sheer energy and drive. Mars is the passionate pursuer of truth and love and lust. He likes speed, competition and a good row. He tends to have a short fuse but moves on quickly and therefore tends not to hold a grudge. He's a sprinter, not a marathon runner. So in other words, he's the hare, not the tortoise. Mars doesn't move retrograde nearly as often as Mercury, but when he does, he can take the edge off your enthusiasm, your forward momentum, and blunt your ability to be decisive and take definite action. When the Mars vibration is muted by working in this kind of reverse gear, it would be nice to think that a gentler, more considerate side of Mars would come to the fore, especially in Libra. Even if it's a ceasefire for technical reasons, and it may be just that in many instances, good news, that would be good news for the embattled, war-weary places in our world. And I'm not just talking about countries, I'm talking about each and every single one of us, you know, in our own homes, in some area of our lives maybe. But Mars retrograde could just manifest as passive aggressive behavior or a kind of siege situation. It could mean that direct action is forced underground, and depending who is on top, currently on top in a long-standing standing dispute, a subdued Mars might just result in the tipping point when the weaker contender is toppled. It may be the battle is lost, but not the war, because when Mars goes direct, and that will be from May the 20th, there'll be a second wind and a newfound vitality, which means that the baton can be picked up again and the race continued in earnest. Machinery may stall or need repairing during Mars retrograde, but equally the smooth running of a plan, schedule, plan or a schedule that could falter, or a personal improvement program may lose its impetus. And yes, you can just blame it on Mars retrograde. Or it could be that you get all psyched up for a confrontation of some kind, or you're launching into some project, and no sooner do you get started that you find the goalposts have been moved and it takes the wind out of your sails. Or that you actually find the thing that you have been hoping for or looking for without too much effort, and then you have to put the brakes on because it's kind of done as far as taken as far as it can go. When Mars energy is slowed, it turns inwards, and despite wanting to make a decision or get the ball rolling, we may still just have to take a step back and plan out that action, that game plan, that strategy with more deliberation. Like the coach at half-time in the dressing room, in the midst of his team of hot, sweaty players with high adrenaline running through their veins, he gives them the calm, cool, well thought out, hopefully, facts of how he sees the game is going, and then points out maybe the strong points, the weak points, tears somebody off a strip perhaps, and congratulates somebody else, and then lays down the game plan for the second half. So this is a good example of Mars in airy, intellectual, detached Libra, who uses reason and kind of neutrality and detachment and diplomacy as well, like a weapon. Now, Mars retrograding here may mean more talk, more reasoned planning, and less direct action for us all during the Mars retrograde period. But it could also mean certain enterprises and initiatives worldwide could stall or run out of steam, or there's a temporary hiatus. There may be a situation of stalemate or of indecision, and a kind of tug of war where nobody's getting anywhere, which kind of holds things up. In individual lives, Mars will incline us to be more reserved in our responses. We will have an opportunity to be more circumspect, reasoning, and notice when we are overreacting, overstretching, or being selfishly self-centered. And that doesn't mean repressing the Mars energy, though, because when Mars goes direct in May, you could pop like a cork in a champagne bottle, because you know the pressure has been building up and it kind of splatters the walls in a kind of unregulated, uncontrolled sort of a way. An appropriate action or reaction, you have an inappropriate action or reaction that you have made during the retrograde period could come back to bite you if you have forced people into things or forced things to happen which were not meant to take place yet during the Mars retrograde. So after Mars is finished doing that, that could just come back to kind of nip your heels. So Mars retrograde may just mean there's something of an impasse, or you have to tread water on a project, or just hold off with a burning ambition. Or it might mean, as I said earlier, that you get to it more quickly than you thought you would, and that's it. You know, it's kind of released, it's taken to the you've taken the step that you need to take, and you've taken as far as it can go at that stage. And it would be smart to say, okay, that's enough for now. However, this could work in your favor down the line, because if you controlled yourself and went with that weaker Mars flow, not pushing it during the retro time, then from May the 20th, the current may just pick you up and pick up as it picks up speed and starts propelling you and your boat merrily down the stream of life in a way which pleases you.